Hi everyone! Today I have a recipe for you that I think will be your new go-to summer dessert. I've upgraded a simple cake with the flavors of bourbon and brown sugar, and I'm topping it with beautiful berries. I think it's an ideal way to say Happy Father's Day or celebrate an outdoor party. I've started by preheating my oven to 350 degrees, and now I'm going to start with my dry ingredients. Here I have 1 3/4 cup of AP flour. To that I'm adding 1 3/4 teaspoon of baking powder, and 3/4 teaspoon of salt. It's always a good idea to add a little salt to your sweet desserts. All right, give this a quick whisk. Now we're ready to cream the butter and sugar. So I'm starting with 1 stick of room temperature butter. It's really important in tender cakes that your butter is room temperature so it's nice and soft and combines really easily with the sugar. To that I am adding 2/3 of a cup of brown sugar. And I always pack my brown sugar for recipes. It's really important that you store your brown sugar in an airtight container so it doesn't get all dried out and hard. And 1/3 of a cup of granulated sugar. Okay, so I will cream this on medium-high until it's light and fluffy. This takes about 2 to 3 minutes. All right, this looks great. My butter is nice and fluffy. I'll just give this a quick scrape with my spatula. Looks like everything is incorporated here. Next, I'm adding 2 eggs. These are room temperature. This helps them combine with the butter. And I'll let this mix on medium until they're combined. Next, I'm adding 4 teaspoons of bourbon. You could always substitute the bourbon with vanilla, but I find that the bourbon adds just a hint of sweetness and a really rich aroma that works so well with the brown sugar. I can smell the bourbon in here. It smells fantastic. So next, I'm adding my dry ingredients. I'm going to alternate with 2/3 cup of milk. Finally, the last of my dry ingredients. All right, I'm actually gonna give the last few scrapes of this with my spatula. I think this really helps prevent overworking your batter if you do the last little bit by hand. Okay. So I'm incorporating all the last of my dry ingredients, giving it a few quick scrapes. Now I'm going to pour this into my prepared pan. This is a 9x2" cake pan that I have buttered and lined with parchment. This is gonna make it come out really easily when it's done baking. All right, look at that. Beautiful, fluffy cake batter. And now I have a mini offset spatula that I'm using to spread this out. You could definitely just use a normal spatula, but I think this is a really handy tool if you have at home. Okay, that looks pretty good. Next, I will sprinkle this with 1 cup of blueberries and 1 cup of raspberries. I'm using berries today, but you can definitely use any fruit that catches your eye at the market. You could do this with plums, apricots, peaches. You just want to make sure that they're cut into nice even wedges for even baking. We have recipes for all of those variations on marthastewart.com. Now I'm adding my cup of raspberries. I love fresh berries in the summer. There is nothing better. Now I'll press some of these into the batter so that a few of them sink in and some of them stay on the top. And then I'm sprinkling all of this with sanding sugar. Gives a nice crust on the outside of the cake. A little bit of a sparkle, which is always fun, and it looks really beautiful when it comes out of the oven. All right, this is looking good. So this is going into my 350-degree oven for 50 minutes until the sides start pulling away from the pan and it springs back when you touch it. Look at this beauty. I pulled it out of the oven, I let it sit for 20 minutes in the pan, flipped it out, and then let it cool completely on a wire rack. It's tough, I know, but you have to let it cool completely so that it all sets up and it won't fall apart when you try to slice into it. I love this cake. It's simple, it's fast, it uses 1 pan. It's the perfect summer dessert because you can spend more time with your friends and family outside enjoying the beautiful weather, and that's what summer is really all about. Look how pretty. I think you're really gonna love this. So good.